I could kill the Brenchels.
Screw Brendan and Rachel, because we just got U-turned.
No way.
Yeah, I'm serious.
Who are you guys? Brendan and Rachel.
Brendan and Rachel.
Can you believe that?
I can't believe Brendan and Rachel U-turned David Connor. That makes 0 sense to me. Leg 8, and it looks like people are starting to play dirty.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
I'm sorry, Dave. You're not sorry at all.
Jeez, you're not sorry.
The Amazing Race U-turn, something with such a simple name, is actually one of the most devastating moves one team can cause to another. Imagine this. Let's put yourself in these shoes, shall we? You are on the Amazing Race. It is now leg 10 of an 11-leg race around the world for $1 million. And your team chooses to do the detour task that best fits your strengths. You barely finish the detour task, but you are ahead of one other team. You get the clue that says proceed to the pit stop. What relief. That is until you look at the U-turn board and some other team slapped your face on there. So now you have to do the other detour task too. And the likelihood of your elimination went up by a lot. Yeah, screw me, right? That's the U-turn, and it makes for some dramatic television.
Sorry, guys.
I feel awful. We don't know if we can beat y'all for the millions.
Caution, U-turn ahead.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So we have to do both, probably.
Ryan and Abby are the strongest team here. And if we're gonna bring the $1 million home to our families, we can't have Ryan and Abby here.
We choose to U-turn Chippendales.
James and JM stuck to the plan. All is good.
I got it. Oh, no.
I don't get it. What?
We got U-turned by James and James.
Oh, and Trey and Lexi U-turned James and James.
Oh my God.
We're done. We're done.
Abby and Ryan, you are the last team to arrive.
We just wanted to make it. So.
Not only once in a lifetime, it's probably once in 100 lifetimes.
The Chippendales cost me $2 million.
By the way, thank you for watching, commenting, and subscribing. For only a few bucks a month on Patreon, you can pick what videos I make, like this one, get exclusive videos every month, and for context, this video is being made in June 2022 before the airing of season 34. So come on over to Patreon to get all this channel's videos early. Thank you for your support. To be clear, I am not covering every single time a U-turn has ever happened in the show's history. These are just the important ones or the ones that contain historical significance that took place when it all began in season 12 all the way through season 32. So with that,
this is the first of only 2 U-turns found along the racecourse. A U-turn is found at the end of a detour. Teams can use the power of a U-turn to slow down another team, forcing them to backtrack and complete the other side of the detour they did not previously complete. Teams can use the power of a U-turn only once during the entire race, so they need to decide on the best time to use it.
So a basic U-turn requires you finishing a detour task before another team and then choosing them to do both sides of the detour, aka double the task. But it comes at the risk of them surviving it and taking revenge on you later, or possibly the other team seeing that you did it and making you a target. Here in season 12, it is treated as some sort of moral issue. If you're a Survivor fan, it's comparable to when in the early seasons of that show, people thought alliances were immoral and evil. That's basically what's going on here. Namely, by the future winners of this season, as TK and Rachel are like, whoa, we would never do that to someone. It just isn't right.
I don't want to do this. It's a game. They understand it and they will absolutely do it to us. We choose to U-turn. Jason and Lorena. It's wrong. Jen, it's a game. It's part of the game.
I think it was a bad move on the Blondes' part strategically. I think the Blondes now may have a target on their back.
It's unfortunate that Jason and Lorena got U-turned. We wouldn't have done that.
I just think karma's a bitch.
Now, Shanna and Jennifer used the first ever U-turn, and it was a good one, as the team they used it on is currently in last place, so they're going for the death blow, which is a smart move. However, the moral conundrum is quite annoying to see from everyone, as if this isn't a game mechanic. The Bible doesn't say thou shalt not U-turn. Despite the guilt trip laid on them by TK and Rachel, it does end up working out as
we U-turned a team. I'm sure they're not going to be eliminated.
I made that decision.
Lorena and Jason, I'm sorry to tell you are the last team to arrive. You've both been eliminated from the race.
So not only did they use the first U-turn, they are also the first team to utilize it successfully. because trust me, you can blow it hard. Speaking of blowing it hard, in episode 8 of this same season, we get the flip side of the coin. Ket and Vixen are struggling to survive as they finish in last place on the previous leg, and they kind of need a miracle at this point. They reach the U-turn board, and sure enough, there is one other team behind them. They just don't know quite who it is, so they take their shot to try and U-turn another team to save their own butts, and
we don't know anyone's behind us.
Right, but I have a feeling that they are. We're going to exercise the U-turn. I did not U-turn Nate and Jen. There's a better chance that Nick and Don are behind us. They tend to be on the slower end of things.
Team number 2.
All right.
You're the last team to arrive.
We kind of thought maybe.
I'm sorry to tell you, you have both been eliminated from the race.
I told you, you can blow it. Season 12 gives us the sampler platter of how it can go right and how it can go wrong. But after seeing how this went in Season 12, the players of Season 13 just straight up don't use it. It's given to them twice to use and they just say, no, we're not doing it. So the Amazing Race has to adjust. They have to pull a trick out of their hat to make the players want to use this. So what do they introduce in Season 14?
This is the first of only 2 U-turns found along the race course. But in a new twist, this is what's known as a blind U-turn. Previously, when teams forced another team to U-turn, they had to post their own picture and be known as the perpetrators. Now, they can remain anonymous.
Ah yes, the blind U-turn. This might be my favorite version of the U-turn. It is essentially the same thing, but now you can strategically go after another team and potentially have no one know it was you who did it, though teams will still figure out who did it at some point most of the time. The Amazing Race truly lucks out with how these things play out, as in this season, Margie and Luke, considered a kind team who is not a threat, blind U-turn Amanda and Chris, which is funny considering Amanda and Chris had to switch detours already due to not being able to complete one of the tasks. So when it happens,
Yeah, it's part of the game. Chris and Amanda, we're sorry. We love you guys, but...
And we're U-turned.
Are you freaking kidding me? We're conniving people. We've been nothing but so nice to everyone.
I know, it's stupid. It's a blind U-turn, but we have a pretty good feeling that it was Jen and Keisha. They were the ones in the first flight, so it only makes sense that it was them.
Or the blondes, and the blondes are not trustworthy either, so. Well, you know, Margie and Luke probably felt so bad too.
Oh, the irony. Amanda and Chris get eliminated this leg too, so Margie and Luke get a complete freebie elimination. Later on in Season 14, during Episode 8, we get another important moment in U-turn history as Tammy and Victor use it, and that marks the first time a team who goes on to win the race uses the U-turn on someone else. Now, unfortunately, I do not have footage from Season 17, I apologize, so accept this footage from another season in its place, but Season 17 features the first ever double U-turn. That's right, 2 teams get U-turned at once, and therefore this guarantees one of the teams will go on to survive.
Teams are encountering a double U-turn. This is an opportunity for 2 teams to slow down 2 other teams by forcing them to complete the other side of the detour.
We move on to Season 18, a returnee season, when Amanda and Chris, yes, the same team we just looked at in Season 14, is forced to do a U-turn as a penalty for finishing last on a previous task. And with that comes...
Amanda and Chris, you are the last team to arrive. I'm very sorry to tell you that you have been eliminated from the race.
Amanda and Chris are the first ever team to be eliminated twice due to the U-turn. Unlucky indeed. Season 18, Episode 5 brings with it another first, when Ket and Vixen are the first team to use the U-turn twice in their career, and this time it is successful, unlike in Season 14. Jamie and Cara are then the first team to use it and somehow finish lower than the team they used it against it on. They're not eliminated though. Season 19 sees a technological shift with the U-turn. Previously, the boards were just paper images of everybody, but now, oh boy, they're sponsored tablets. Flex your muscles, HP and Microsoft, I'm watching. Though they are much harder to see than the paper images and have noticeable lag when using them. You'll see this as the show tries to cut around the lag, but it's noticeable. But that's not all for Season 19, as Ernie and Cindy, the season's eventual winners, U-turn Bill and Kathy, but shocker of all shockers, as Bill and Kathy finish...
Bill and Kathy? Quite unbelievable. You are team number 2.
That is the highest finish for any team that actually gets U-turned successfully. I am still waiting for the day someone gets U-turned successfully and somehow manages first place, as that would be insane. Now we slide over to season 20, where we see a double U-turn used successfully on 2 teams. So how do these 2 teams finish?
Brendan and Rachel, you are team number 4. Vanessa and Ralph, you are team number 5.
Oh my God.
Even after 2 sides of the detour.
Now this marks the first time a double U-turn eliminates no one and both teams are safe. The team that got eliminated must really suck, but so far U-turns have been fairly straightforward. Use them on a team you want eliminated, and if it's a double U-turn, most of the time the second U-turn will be used by the first team that was U-turned. Season 21, on the other hand, changes U-turn strategy forever. Let me set this up. Most teams want Abby and Ryan gone. They're a strong team that recently ran into some bad luck, so they're actually near the back of the pack for once. So Natalie and Nadia, yes, the same players who will go on to play on Survivor, who I did make a story of video all about kind of due to this move, unveil their next level plan.
But we all know the plan, right? Even if we got split up, the first 2 people, the first one is Abby and Ryan, the second one U-turns the one who U-turned Abby and Ryan.
Yeah.
The plan is, if it's a double U-turn, the first team that gets the U-turn U-turns Abby and Ryan. The second team that get to the U-turn have to U-turn the first team that passed already. That means that U-turn goes down the drain, and then Abby and Ryan can't use their U-turn on somebody else.
As you may recall from earlier in this video, this beautiful and dramatic sequence of events plays out to utilize some of the most cutthroat strategies seen in The Amazing Race, because the show is usually not that cutthroat when it comes to strategy, but Natalie and Nadia, they crank it up a notch. Oh, and get this, Natalie and Nadia, despite coming up with this plan and saying, oh yeah, we're definitely gonna do it, go on to use the fast forward this leg, so they get no blood on their hands from this move. So they force everyone else to do their dirty work. It's beautiful.
Sorry, guys.
I feel awful. We don't know if we can beat y'all for the millions.
Caution, U-turn ahead.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So we have to do both. Probably.
Ryan and Abby are the strongest team here. And if we're gonna bring the $1 million home to our families, we can't have Ryan and Abby here.
We choose to U-turn Chippendales.
James and JM stuck to the plan. All is good.
I got it. Oh no.
I don't get it. What?
We got U-turned by James and James.
Oh, and Trey and Lexi U-turned James and James.
Oh my God.
We're done. We're done.
Abby and Ryan, you are the last team to arrive.
We just wanted to make it. So.
Not only once in a lifetime, it's probably once in 100 lifetimes.
The Chippendales cost me $2 million.
As I said before, this is absolutely brilliant and a complete game changer, as teams on future seasons will now copy this strategy and use it as well. I can see why Natalie and Nadia were asked to do Survivor after this. I unfortunately do not have footage for season 22, but episode 10 of that season marks the first time a team survives a speed bump and a U-turn task in the same leg. So we move on to seasons 23 and 24, as what happens in these back-to-back seasons is connected for the U-turn. The Afghanimals, aka Leo and Jamal, aka one of my favorite teams, get U-turned in episode 5 of season 23 and in episode 8 of season 23, and both times they survive.
Leo and Jamal, your team number 6.
Okay, come on. Just to survive being U-turned.
Leo and Jamal, you are team number 4.
So you might be asking yourself, how is season 24 connected to this? That's a great question. That season was labeled as All-Stars by someone who doesn't know what a cast of All-Stars looks like, though I'm not saying Leo and Jamal aren't All-Stars, they definitely are. There's just many teams here that are clearly not. And
It's a number 3.
Yes, you are in fact team number 3. That's what they said. That's their Italian.
now in season 25, we get the eventual winners try and throw a U-turn on Adam and Bethany, and it fails because Adam and Bethany had already used their fast forward to get first place. That's the first time someone avoids a U-turn due to the fast forward twist. Now in season 27, I'm sorry once again I don't have footage of the season, but the show makes a change to the U-turn format by changing the location of the detour. Previously, you didn't know who was U-turned until after the detour, causing drama. But in season 27, they moved the U-turn board to be before the detour, causing a new whole kind of drama, as the U-turn team could now share the task with the team they got U-turned by. Spicy. Season 29 sets the record for the most U-turns, as it happens 6 times. And while this has been matched by a later season, it has yet to be passed. Season 31 decides to make a big change to the U-turn format. Be prepared for this one. This is a big one. Now, this could be because it's a returnee season mixed in with former Survivor and Big Brother contestants, but let me have Phil explain it.
Switzerland is a country where everybody gets to vote.
Democracy.
Yes, this is a country that believes it has the oldest democracy in the world. Wow. So it seems only fitting that as we begin this next leg of the race, we have a U-turn vote.
Is this out loud?
This is out loud.
What?
This is in front of each other.
Oh wow. The voting is a cool idea, but the out loud in front of everyone part is highly questionable as it leads to safe gameplay. But it also draws a lot of on-the-fly drama that the show craves. Why else add the vote to the U-turn twist and have it be public? With that comes a lot of this.
1000% game related. Colin and Christy, I'm so sorry.
I don't know. I don't know what to do. Just do it, whatever.
Sorry, Afghanimals. You guys are a strong team.
Then you should have said I told you. I literally whispered in your ear what to do.
And then you said you don't know.
No, I whispered in your ear what to do.
We're the U-turn kings. It's all good.
We're gonna base our vote on who we're least closest with, and that's the Riley sisters.
You guys are making us go up against Colin and Christy? That is, okay.
I couldn't tell you anything about the O'Reillys, except that they have long eyelashes and they like to fix them every 5 minutes.
That wasn't smart. It's $1 million, guys. You're not a strong team either.
It was not a game move. It was 100% a personal move. But I thought we were racing for $1 million. Chris and Brett are usually at the back. They can't outrun any of the teams.
And clearly they're not more intelligent than the other teams.
Right. So I would make a decision based on who you think you have a better chance at beating for $1 million.
That was $1 million, guys.
The vote is done. We have two teams that have been U-turned, Colin and Christy, and Rachel and Alyssa.
This is the only time I think The Amazing Race kind of screws up the execution of the U-turn, as the vote should have been silent and secret, but maybe they can do that if they ever revisit this version of the twist again. On another note, Colin and Christy go on to win this season, while Rachel and Alyssa...
I guess I thought it was super delusional that we could win, but...
Rach, we win at life.
Yeah. Rachel is always gold on this show, whether you like her or hate her. As of the time of this video, season 32 is the last one to have the U-turn twist, though I definitely expect it to return on a future season. But the final time, as of now, that we see the U-turn is when 4 teams create an alliance in season 32 and kind of make the season boring as a result, and they use the U-turn to eliminate their competition. It is a next level strategy in a way, but it's also the most boring thing to watch due to its predictableness. For those who are Survivor fans, it's like watching Boston Rob play on Redemption Island. Sure, it's good, but it's not fun. But with that, I have some fun statistics to look at for the history of the U-turn, and I will put these in the description below. So, how many teams have been U-turned in total so far? The answer is 65. How many of those U-turns were successful in eliminating their target? 28 out of 65 times, less than half. How many have failed? That of course means 37 have failed. How many of those U-turns were double U-turns? To be clear, it's a large chunk, as 56 out of 65 of them are double U-turns. How many of the doubles were blind? Only 8 out of 56. I do hope they do more of those in the future. How many were used by teams that won the season? 10 times. That's right, you want to win? It's probably a good idea to use the U-turn. Now, how many times were they used against the team that went on to win the same season? Only 4. And how many U-turns went completely unaired on the show? 4. So, what do you think about the Amazing Race U-turn? Is there another version of it that they should try in a future season? I would love to hear what you think. Thank you for watching, and doubly thanks for liking and subscribing. See you all next time.